Michael Jordan is the greatest player that I have ever seen in my lifetime. What makes Michael Jordan great is that little something inside of his chest that I have never seen any athlete equal or surpass.
Remember last week that I said that Kobe Bryant was one of the 10 greatest NBA players ever?
Right. You say a lot of things.
I want to change that.
To what?
He's one of the 5 greatest ever.
When you look at the numbers and what you look at what LeBron James brings to a talent, to a basketball court, talent-wise, there is no question that he deserves to be mentioned.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube/ We Do It All. And today we got 2 familiar faces in the house, man. We got my brother, Junior, and we got my guy, Jaylin, in the house, man.
What's up?
And we back at it, y'all, with another great episode. And if you guys go and look at a previous video, we did the NBA GOAT debate a long time ago, man. But we had a double.
Before the bubble.
Right before the bubble, exactly.
Oh,
we had to double it back. We had to bring Jaylin on the show and my brother. And we going to do it again, man, because now that LeBron won the championship at 35, and everything changes about this GOAT debate. And I thought, what better time to do it than the present, man, to bring my 2 guys on here, man.
Right here. Put some respect on my man's name, please.
Exactly. Put some respect on his name, man. So that's exactly what we're doing here today, man. We're doing the NBA GOAT debate. And as like the last episode, we have a couple of questions just to kind of narrow and direction our conversation. But guys, feel free to go off topic. Feel free to free ball, for free to whatever. I'm just going to go use these questions to kind of help us.
Gotcha.
But, you guys ready to do this?
I'm ready, man.
I'm excited.
Ready, man.
I'm excited.
It's a good one. It's good. For sure.
All right, so let's go ahead and just jump into the first question, man. So my first question for you guys is, how many NBA players should realistically be included in this GOAT debate?
I think in order to be a GOAT, you have to be top 5 of all time. Top 5 to top 7, you know?
Okay.
And my top 5 personally are LeBron.
Okay.
MJ. This is like a hot take right here. Tim Duncan. Either Tim Duncan. Either Tim Duncan or Hakeem. I couldn't I couldn't choose between the 2. And who else? I have in Magic.
Magic? Okay.
Magic
so you got 5 players.
I have 5 players.
Okay.
The reason why I chose Tim Duncan is he is the most boring player of all time, but also the most kind of underrated. He has 15 All-Star appearances. He has 2 MVPs, 3 Finals MVPs, and 15 all-team defenses.
Yeah. Tim is a beast.
He was a beast.
You quietly racks up points. You're playing against this guy, all of a sudden you're like, man, how does this guy have 15
like,
rebounds?
He has 15 That's what I'm saying. Like, out of nowhere. And he just, no reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Jaylin, he got 5 players that should be included in that GOAT debate. Junior?
I agree with Jaylin. I got 5 players.
5
players I think that you can make a solid argument for being a GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you go after 5, more than 5, you start thinking, am I being too lenient with this? You know, what makes the GOAT? I mean, this is the greatest player of all time, right? So, but my top 5 is, I got Jordan, I got, in no order, Jordan, I got LeBron, I got Kobe, I got Kareem, and I got Magic.
Okay.
So I got actually Tim Duncan and Hakeem in my top 10, but they're just missing that top 5.
Just missing the top 5, I got you.
Top 5.
I got you.
Got Shaq, close to that top 5 too. But
I forgot Shaq in mine. Because it was a toss-up between either Tim Duncan or Hakeem. So I couldn't choose between the 2. So it's like 4, and then 5.
Okay. But what about Magic, though? You have Magic?
Yeah, Magic's top 5 for sure.
Okay. Magic's top 5 for sure. Okay, yeah. What are we doing?
For me, I went ahead and shortened that number a little bit. I only have 4 players. Again, in no order. I have Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, and Shaq.
Okay.
Those are my top 4. I feel like I wanted to put Hakeem in there, but I don't know. I think Shaq beat him out, and I couldn't put more than 4 players in there.
But I appreciate the love Hakeem's getting, because he doesn't be getting that much love sometimes from. And I mean, what he did was amazing. Yeah. The footwork for a man that big, and he seized the moment. Jordan was out. He got 2 titles.
ASAP, man. He's also a good defensive player too.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
People overlook that, and I don't know why.
They got him and David Robinson. I think only a few more players have gotten quadruple doubles.
Yeah.
So the type of players that get it done, everywhere.
On all cylinders.
Everywhere.
One more thing that I was looking at too is like for me, I have different personal GOATs. For me, I feel like people that change the game the most, like people like Curry, people shooting from half court, AI, people have swag off the court, on off the court, and people like Dirk, people that could influentials, I don't know what, changing the game for big men like Dirk,
Dirk
shooting 3-pointers.
Big man shooting threes. AI came with tattoos and everything.
Headband, cornrows. Now it's all over the league.
I got it. All right. All right, so for our second question, we have, what traits and accomplishments do you guys value in determining your GOAT? So, who wants to kick this one off?
I think you should just continue because you're talking about influence.
All right. Well, the first one was, of course, impact on the culture, impact and influence. The second is awards. Third is stats. That's why, for the awards one, that's why I specifically chose Tim Duncan, because he has all these awards. He has more awards than I even put down in my notes, to be honest.
Yeah.
He has MVPs. I was surprised.
Countless
MVPs.
Countless awards.
All-stars. Countless.
First team all defense.
He does it all.
And what he did too, remember, when they won the title in 2003, they stopped the Lakers from going 4 titles in a row.
Yeah.
Really?
Because remember, Lakers three-peated up to 2002, 2000, 2001, 2002. So then Tim Duncan stopped the Lakers from getting 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped the Pistons from starting that dynasty because they won in 04. And he stopped the Heat from three-peating. So, he was out there just killing dynasties too.
Yeah, killing dynasties. Dynasty killer.
I mean, he was a dynasty on his own, right?
Yeah, exactly. He has 5 championships.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's a solid play for sure. I got dominance over the league as one of my big criteria. Longevity, that's another huge thing. You can't just have a player be great. Like Tracy McGrady, one of my favorite players of all time, but he was good for just a short burst of time. Like injury, it's not really his fault, but you have to have some silverware, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to.
So I'm thinking at least 3 rings.
At least
3 rings.
So hold on. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So LeBron wouldn't have got this ring this year.
That's 3 still.
That's 3. You would still would have counted it.
Yeah, he's still in the debate. Yeah, you have to have 3 or more.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not big on individual awards, but obviously getting MVPs and Finals MVPs don't hurt.
Yeah.
I just think that these awards have gotten more and more watered down. I think that Karl Malone, when he won his MVP, Jordan had an outstanding year, but it was just, we're going to give it to Jordan again for the millionth time in a row, so they didn't give it to Jordan that year.
The time Kobe got robbed.
Kobe got robbed a lot of times. Kobe got... Timmy D took one of Kobe's awards too, I think. I still believe that to this day. Nash took one of Kobe's, and same thing with LeBron. LeBron should have won Defensive Player of the Year that year. Marcus Gasol won it.
Should have won MVP this year as well.
Should have won MVP this year as well. I mean, we saw what he did, and he didn't. So that's why, awards are great, but they're not. I think they got so diluted over the years that it's not what it used to be.
Sometimes they don't really reflect the best team. Like the year that Russell Westbrook won, they were number 8 seed in the West.
But he was historic year.
That was an historic year, but he wasn't the best team. Usually it's like the number 1 or 2 seed, and that year was just off. To me, it was personally. He deserved it, but his team should have been better.
So, generational talent's another thing as well. Leadership, intangibles of a winner. And one thing that I also think is very important is player opinion. So we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
How do their peers view them, right? Mm-hmm. So for example, you have the example.
Talk about your Kobe example.
The example I give with Kobe was this. You see, if you go and Twitter is full of trolls, but you go on Twitter and chat on NBA Twitter thinks Kobe sucks, but you ask every other player, they'll be like, who's the toughest player you ever had to play with? Kobe. So peers respect them. Peers think that it's Kobe's the toughest player they ever played against. But some 15-year-old kid on Twitter doesn't think so. So they're gonna think that it's not Kobe. So that's what I'm talking about. Player opinion, respect from your peers. It's those are kind of like the traits that I kind of look for when I'm picking my go.
Of course,
got it.
For
me, I broke it down into 7 different categories. My first category is they'd have to have that on and off switch. They can make an immediate impact and a high volume in whatever, whether it be scoring, defense, rebounding, whatever that is. My second category is, like how Junior mentioned, leadership. Are they a leader on and off the court? Can they lead their team to win? Number 3, like how Junior mentioned as well, dominance and longevity. Number 4, positionless. Can they play positions 1 through 5? Number 5, silverware. How many championships? How many finals MVP? I actually agree with Junior that with how I feel like regular season MVPs don't really tell you that much anymore.
Right. What happened this year?
Exactly. They don't really tell you that much, but I still do finals MVPs, I think, still tell you a lot. My 6th category is, are they a two-way player? My 7th category is the impact on the team. Does the team win when they're not there or when they are there?
So by your criteria, do you think that Shaq deserves to be in the top 5 GOATs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know though. You took him out of the Lakers.
You take him out of Lakers. Does Kobe still get as many rings as he get?
Oh, that is I don't know because didn't Shaq win the MVP and all those?
Yeah, Shaq won MVP every single one.
He was super dominant at that point. Yeah,
because I mean it kind of is like the LeBron and AD narrative this year that it's like LeBron is so great because AD is on the team, and the same way that Kobe was able to be so great because Shaq was on the team. Yeah. Because you pay too much attention to one, the other goes off. You know,
same thing with Scotty and MJ.
Exactly.
Even Kobe and Powell.
Even Kobe and Powell. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So then moving on to our third question. So as of right now, okay, who's your GOAT? And give me a reasoning, a couple of reasons. I want to know. I want to hear everyone's points here.
I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm about to pick. My man LeBron James.
James.
Number one pick out of high school, number one player in high school, number one player in the NBA. He's been number one his whole life. I think he deserves to be number one on the GOAT all-time list. He is number 3 all-time scorer, number 8 all-time assists, and number 13 all-steals. That just proves to you that he does everything on the court. He does rebounds, he does points. He takes his team to the finals 9 consecutive years?
8 consecutive years,
10 times.
That's crazy.
I mean, that deserves, even though he lost 6 times out of the 10, he still deserves his respect for making it there. People always bash him for being, the East isn't that hard. Yeah, it wasn't that hard, but he still got there,
Exactly.
He still beat the teams that deserved to be there,
Exactly.
I mean, and you cannot hold 2007 against LeBron.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Just him.
That team to the finals.
The second best player was who? Mo Williams?
Yeah, no, that was tough. That one is a loss you can't really hold against LeBron.
Yeah.
I'll even admit, I used to thought to myself, nah, right? You can't hold that against LeBron. It's the same thing with Magic, the Orlando Magic in 2009 with Dwight dragged that team. I couldn't even hold that one up against them. So
Dwight was a boy.
Jameer Nelson was good though.
Jameer Nelson was nice too.
Jameer Nelson was nice. Yeah, no, it wasn't a carry job like 07 Cavs, but still, you look at that Lakers team and that Magic team, and they got a game off the Lakers too. Dwight was nice for sure.
Okay.
I
also think that Kobe might be up there too.
Kobe
with the goal, because he did carry his team. Because who were the Lakers before Kobe? Or not before Kobe, but the Lakers. Kobe made the Lakers who they are today. Pau Gasol wasn't anything. Lamar Odom wasn't, that good.
Exactly.
He pushed them in order to. He elevated them.
So you're saying Paul Gasol on a different team without Kobe wouldn't have been who Paul Gasol was? Okay, I can feel that.
Kobe has that mentality, that killer mentality, that Black Mamba mentality that everybody talks about.
Yeah. I respect that.
That's true.
So for mine, like I just mentioned, I have these 7 categories, and as of who my GOAT is, the way I determine my GOAT is out of these 7 categories, who got the most categories, right? And to me, LeBron James wins 5 of those 7 categories. Here's the breakdown. So the first category, knows how to use an on-off switch, right? I think LeBron James has proven that all of his career, especially this year's LeBron. Second in the league for most triple doubles, right behind Luka Doncic. He can at any point score. He averaged 26 points per game, led the league in assists.
That's
right?
Crazy.
So I give my first category to LeBron. One category LeBron. My second category leadership. Come on now. Out of those 4 players I listed, LeBron is the greatest leader.
Punch in the face.
LeBron is the greatest leader. Let me read you off of a quick list. Joel Anthony, Mario Chalmers, James Jones, Channing Frye, Tristan Thompson, Yaglauskas, Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Clarkson, J.R. Smith, Rodney Hood, Alex Caruso. Don't get me wrong, these players are good players, but not players that are supposed to be playing big minutes in the finals. Yeah. LeBron had all of these players playing big minutes in the finals. On top of that, LeBron James this year just basically gave JaVale McGee. I know JaVale McGee didn't get much playing time in the bubble, but in the regular season, JaVale McGee was putting up his career highs. He was shooting 64% from the field, highest than he's ever been, and that's because of LeBron.
In the beginning of the season, he was in the running for most improved player.
Exactly.
He kind of fell off after, but he was in the running.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, wow. No. I mean, he was playing nice in the beginning of the season. Just couldn't keep it consistent.
Because his role was kind of switching.
Yeah, exactly. And Dwight stepped up too.
Dwight stepped up. Yeah, he did.
He gave him a run for his money.
On top of that leadership, LeBron also is still the best player in the NBA, but still gave the keys to the offense to AD this year. That's real leadership. And again, just how Junior mentioned, he revived Dwight Howard's career this year. Dwight Howard was
a lot of players.
He revived a lot of players' career this year. Exactly.
Yeah.
He revived their career. So that's leadership. So that's now 2 categories for LeBron. My third category, dominance and longevity. I don't think we've ever seen a player be this dominant for this long. LeBron's 17th year, ridiculous, no signs of slowing down. NBA Finals MVP, 26 points per game, 50% from the field, led the league in assists, 8 rebounds, shot 30% from deep. Versus Kobe Bryant's 17th year, man. The Kobe Bryant, don't get me wrong, RIP a GOAT, but 27 points per game, but he was on the 8th seeded Lakers in his 17th year, and Shaq was on Phoenix, so that should tell you.
That's actually what hurts his case for me. Yeah, he overstayed his time in the league.
Yeah, he did with the Celtics, the Suns, the Cavs.
He put on a bunch of teams. He overstayed his time in the league. You just look at Magic Shaq, Lakers Shaq, and some Heat Shaq. Even on the Heat, at his tail end of his time on the Heat.
Yeah,
we're just done.
Didn't he win a championship with Dwayne Wade?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
6.
So again, LeBron wins that third category.
One before you get out of that category, longevity. There's something that's actually kind of crazy that I just saw the other day. LeBron's prime started before Durant and Curry were even drafted, and it's probably gonna go on until their primes are done.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like there is no.
Durant is 07.
Do y'all think that Steph Curry's prime is over?
Nah,
it's not over. It's not over.
He's
but
still solid. He's still gonna be up there like a top 10 player next year.
Yeah, you think
maybe even top 5. I mean, who knows? It's a real competitive league nowadays.
We'll see.
But regardless, like I think that having your prime start before a generational player like Curry and Durant even step foot on court, but when the primes are over, he'll probably still be in his prime. Like,
continue that.
Nuts.
One criteria that I didn't mention, like in the traits, is his ability to leave on top.
Yeah,
LeBron can leave on the top right now. He could retire and no one would be the best player. Like he doesn't really need any more accolades. He already has everything that he can.
He said that true to AD.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah, he said, "This is your team. If I retire today, I'm good."
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, damn.
So
please don't retire though.
my fourth category, positionless. Out of the 4 players I listed, LeBron is the most positionless player.
Most definitely.
My 5th category, championships. I would have to give that category to Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan does have the six championships. 2-way player. I know last time me and Junior had a big argument over this one. I know Michael Jordan won that 88 Defensive Player of the Year, but if out of all those 4 players I listed in the beginning, if I had to pick one player to be a 2-way player, I'd pick LeBron James. He is a defensive specimen, 6'9", 260 versus LeBron's 6'6", 216. Versus Jordan's 6'6", 216. And so I would give the 2-way player to LeBron James. My 7th category is the impact on team. I'd have to give that to Jordan because, like how he mentioned, he won 3 championships in a row, took 2 years off, then won another 3 in a row. That shows his impact is ridiculous. The Bulls absolutely needed him. So out of those 7 categories, LeBron wins 5, Jordan wins 2. That's why I have LeBron as my GOAT.
Well, one thing on that one, though, on impact without, like, if he leaves a team, LeBron left Cleveland, they were last.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
That's a good
when
point.
Jordan left, I think the Bulls went to the conference finals.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yeah, they were pretty good
like,
with Scottie Pippen.
it's not like they were so bad. Like, I think that LeBron had the biggest impact on his individual team.
You have a good point there.
That's a good point.
Than Jordan on his individual team.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But Jordan, was enough to get him over. I'd love to have seen Jordan switch teams like LeBron did, and kind of see. I mean, he did with the Wizards, I guess, but that was I don't want to hold it against.
It
was pretty.
It's kind of like with the Shaq argument that you brought up. With him just retire already.
Yeah, it was a little bit longer. Then he hurts his own image that way.
Yeah, he did.
Like kids who watch Shaq play, like
Probably think he sucked.
Probably think
he sucked.
Yeah, no, it's happened and a little bit with Jordan. You know what I mean? For people who are maybe, it's hard to be like, oh, I only watch Wizards Jordan, watch no Bulls Jordan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't make that.
I think for people who did, or people who are casual, they just need to be like, yeah, I saw him on the Wizards. He kind of sucks.
I want to point out Tim Duncan. Did he ever have a down year?
No, not really.
Not really.
Solid player.
Yeah.
He was a solid player. He was a team player too, man. He was taking team-friendly deals.
He was.
To help the Spurs.
Yeah, that's what helped add. That's what helped them add players to win 2014.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
so Junior, you just heard me and Jaylin's GOAT. So we both got LeGo James. Go James. Go James. So who do you have as your GOAT? Tell us why.
All right, we got a clutch talk change of heart announcement right here. Change of heart announcement because I actually last time we came on I actually did give it to Jordan. I did give it to Jordan. But I have a change of heart, not exactly 100%, but I'll tell you. So before the bubble, I went with Jordan. I thought it was still his to be gotten. I thought it was close though. Now I think it's an absolute tie. I mean, if anything, I think I got LeBron a hair over Jordan right now.
Okay.
So I think this award, finals championship changed everything. So Jordan, we can't overlook everything he did. So the dominance on both ends. He was able to do it with a weak Bulls team initially too. He wasn't getting to the finals, but he was getting to Western Conference Finals. He was beating on the dominant Celtics team. I mean, he was winning series, but he was taking them to 7 when he should have been. You know what I mean? It's like Luka this year. They lost to the Clippers, but man, he took them to 6 without Porzingis.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That says something.
That does say something. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, and as far as what he was able to do, also individual awards, scoring titles, everything, it's pretty incredible. Six titles, 6 Finals MVPs, 5 MVPs, 1 Defensive Player of the Year, 10 scoring titles. That's insane. Imagine being the highest scorer 10 years in a row. 3 steals titles. He was getting that on both ends. And he kept good players out of titles. Malone, Stockton, Ewing, Barkley, Hakeem, Shaq too.
Clyde. He kept Clyde out of everything.
Clyde. Actually, that's why Clyde is. I don't think he gets
overlooked.
As much love as he deserves.
Yeah,
it's because he just got kind of bullied by Jordan his whole career. Yeah. But Hakeem and Shaq, eventually they got their titles, but when they played against Jordan, they lost. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and he he helped transform the NBA to the global powerhouse that it is today. And like we said, he took time off to go play baseball, came back kicking ass.
So number one. Yeah.
So. That's the argument for Jordan. But for LeBron, I think, like I said, this title, I think tied him, if not put him a hair over. It's really, really tight. Because, in my opinion, this is the absolute toughest title in history. The toughest title. A lot of people will say the opposite. A lot of people say there's an asterisk for the easiest. I think it's the toughest.
Why is that?
So, the Lakers themselves had a tough bubble, first of all. I want you to look at who their starting 5 was supposed to be in the beginning of the season. Before the season started, Lakers starting 5 was going to be Avery Bradley, Danny Green, LeBron, AD, and DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh man,
right? Yeah, that was supposed to be their starting 5. That was supposed to be their starting 5. In the bubble, they were missing 2.5. They got only 2.5 out of those 5 players. You hear why I say a half in a second. You probably know. But look, so they missed out on Boogie. They had to adapt without him for the whole season. Mm-hmm. They lost Avery Bradley like that. It wasn't like, they were able to just transition him out. No, they lost him like that because of him opting out. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And then Danny Green, we got to be honest, he was a shadow of himself in the season, and then even less in the bubble. If you got Danny Green that we got last year on the Raptors, the Lakers didn't even need him, going out there dropping 30 points a game. Yeah, I always say that Danny Green's a poor man's Klay Thompson. Oh, he's no, because he is. Look, what's Klay Thompson? He's a 3-and-D player. Mm-hmm. That's what Danny Green is too, but to a lesser degree. When Klay Thompson will go for 40, Danny Green maybe goes for 25. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. But I always think that they have a lot of similarities, mm-hmm. right? So, and he was. If we could have had Danny Green averaging 10 points a game, that would have been nice. But I don't even think he was there.
Just a knockdown shooter too.
So just putting, like I said, you remember the game, the 3 to tie it, the wide open 3 to tie it. He bricked it.
Yeah, wide open.
So that's why I say 2.5, right? Yeah. But that's one thing. Another thing, I think the Lakers suffered a lot from the bubble format. The Lakers in specific, right? Everyone did. Everyone was separated from their families. But the Lakers in particular lost the home court that they earned during the season, right? Imagine if you knew before the season that, hey, I don't need to get first seed. As long as I get in the top 8, I will go ahead and pretty much
be
in the playoffs, right? So then you don't send LeBron and AD against the Knicks. You don't send them to go play against the Hawks because you can afford to lose that game. Yeah. Right? Remember when AD fell and hurt his hip and he was out for 2 or 3 weeks? That was a huge scare for Laker fans. Yeah. So I don't remember who it was against, but for the sake of this argument, if it was against a weaker team, right? Imagine you didn't have to send AD out there if home court didn't. Yeah. So they earned that home court and they lost it, right? And on top of that, the break in the season came right when they hit their stride. They beat the Clippers, they beat the Bucks. They were picking up their stride. Because remember, they lost to the Clippers the first 2 games. they lost to the Clippers, right? So the first 2 games against the Clippers, even though Christmas was tough, man. Like,
Christmas game was hard to watch.
but they lost, you know. So they hit their stride. They were going, stopped, right? So it stops all that chemistry, it stops all that momentum, all that, right? And then another big thing that the Lakers had to go through was the gauntlet that they faced in the West. They faced all good guards without their best guard defender, was David Bradley.
Yeah.
Right? So think about it. They went through the Blazers, then the Rockets, then the Nuggets, right? Those 3 teams are the last 3 teams to go to the conference finals, aside from the Warriors, because the Warriors were there with them, right?
Yeah.
So last year the Blazers were in the conference finals. 2 years ago it was the Rockets, and then this year was the Nuggets. Last 3 teams to go to the conference finals, they went through every single one of them, right? So Dame and CJ plus Whiteside, who was playing well, and Melo, who was playing out of his mind all of a sudden. Nurkic was playing decent too. So they took care of him in 5. Harden, Westbrook, by the way, who got embarrassed by the Lakers. He got
kind of exposed.
And PJ Tucker, who just seemed like he was automatic from threes. Took care of him in 5 games. Jokic, Murray, Michael Porter Jr., who was like Kuzma 2.0.
Oh my gosh.
5 games. You know what I mean? They made all of these teams look like they're all great teams. They kind of made them all look like child's play. You know, so I think that is that's another thing that just kind of made it like they had a tough path to the finals and still made them seem like it was smaller, like they were not as good, these other teams, you know what I mean? So, and you can see every game that they lost, they either played historically bad, like I think one of the games against, I think it was actually the very first loss against the Blazers, they shot like the worst percentage they've ever shot in the history of the NBA.
Really?
Right, yeah. I think they were like 5 for 35 on threes or something like that. So it's like things that's not gonna happen every night. You know what I mean? Or they took their
or AD having like 4 fouls in the first half.
So I think that they just had, you know, I think that path to the finals. Ironically, you know, what was supposed to be the easiest matchup on paper, the Heat, was the team that took them to 6. But no, that's another argument. But anyway, so that's about the Lakers. Now back to LeBron, because that's how I'm telling him how I think he might already be my GOAT. You know what I mean? So he's got 10 finals appearances, like we were talking about. And people will say, you know, they'll talk about his 4-6 compared to Jordan's 6-0. But you have to remember that in the East, in the 90s, the East was the best conference, right? So it makes sense that Jordan only got to the final 6 times compared to LeBron's 10 because he was the toughest challenge was in the East, right? But he goes to the finals less times, 6 compared to LeBron's 10, but he has a higher winning percentage there because 100%. He already beat the hardest challenge was the East. Getting to the finals is just easy, it's finishing your food, right?
They're playing the Jazz, right?
Exactly, yeah. On the other hand, LeBron played his whole career in the East, except the last 2 years, right? And the West was the West was the best conference during LeBron's career. So no wonder LeBron got to the final 10 times more than Jordan, but had a lesser winning percentage because then he faced that beast in the West.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So
Jordan never faced a Curry, KD.
Yeah.
That team was crazy.
I want to talk about that too, like the competition based on, you know, like times and, you know, like the 80s, 90s, 2000s. You know, like I feel like if some of these players were put in like different generations, they wouldn't be as productive. Like I think personally, someone like Will was putting up 50 points, 34 rebounds, 25 blocks.
Ridiculous.
Playing against plumbers and mechanics.
That's what I'm saying. Smoking cigarettes during halftime.
I know. No, I get it. Yeah, and that's why I couldn't put him in my GOAT.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, like I was thinking about that.
Like, it's not his fault he played in the 50s, but he played in the 50s. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, he was like one of the few 7-footers.
Yeah,
it's
playing
just
against
like
5-9ers.
Yeah, so that's the thing. If I could have made it in the league back then,
man,
it's tough.
Like, imagine LeBron in the league like that.
Oh my,
you know, in the league like
come
this,
on,
you know, like nobody was as developed, you know, like
as LeBron is.
Yeah, exactly. You know, even you know, like muscle tone, they didn't have like the exact same, you know, like the same equipment, like that we do, like the technology and all this stuff. So, you know, they were really behind compared to how we are now. So now we have all these study films and, you know, all these different plays. They didn't have plays back then.
Right.
They didn't have shooting formats back then. They didn't have any of that.
It's definitely more advanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I kind of got to LeBron, just because I feel that, like, you can't compare the 6-0 versus the 4-6 just because LeBron's going to have more appearances because the East was worse. Jordan's going to have a better percentage in the finals because the East was better. You know, so that's kind of how how that works. So I think those arguments kind of cancel each other out. Longevity is another thing you talked about. LeBron's played 17 seasons, but he's really played 260
playoff games.
That's almost 3 1/4 more seasons, right? So it's almost year 20 for LeBron. In terms of miles on his body, it's year 20.
Jordan only
and they're
15
playoff, right? Yeah. So they're playoff miles too. So, and I mean, look, he won the West, was first seed in the regular season, won the West on the tough Western Conference where a team like the Suns, who have DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, are a 10th seed and can't even crack the playoffs.
Yeah.
With the Warriors out too.
Yeah.
If the Warriors were full strength, that means that they definitely would have been better than 10. So that means that the Suns actually would have been probably 11. So that's a thing. LeBron getting 3 Finals MVP with 3 different teams shows that he can do it. No matter where he goes, he can get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
East, West.
And like you said, Jordan never had his biggest competitors team up against, like, imagine if Bird would have joined the Lakers or something like that. That's kind of what KD and Curry did. Those were 2 biggest competitors, and they just teamed up to beat
There was
them.
more loyalty back then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Jordan never had to deal with that. He never had to deal with a KD and a Curry joining forces. Mm-hmm. And another thing too that I'm going to say about this era, I kind of talked about. I think this is the most skilled era.
Most definitely.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not the most physical. Yeah, but I think it's the most skilled. You got 7-footers who can shoot. You got players who are extremely versatile. They can play 1 through 5. You got players like Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant, who are 7 feet tall, but they can handle and they can shoot. And it's the most versatile. It's the most skilled era of the league that we've seen. And it's softer now, but it doesn't change the fact that it's skilled. And he's asserted his dominance over the skilled league since 2003. I mean,
I feel like nowadays it's like more, like not soft, but like, like more smart. People don't want to risk their whole career just for one play.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's been too many D Roses. There's been too many, people like Grant Hill. And, people just getting injured off of stupid things. They don't want to maximize just off of one play.
Right.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
100%. So it's tough. You can't go wrong. LeBron or Jordan. To me, it's like a tie, but I think I give LeBron a here. So that was the official Clutch Talk change.
So we got a LeBron, and a LeBron in the house, man. We know who the GOAT is, man. So I don't want to hear none of that anymore, man.
3-0.
Tough thing to admit, though, bro. If you would have asked me this 10 years ago, people would used to call me Skip Bayless because they used to hate on LeBron. Because it was tough, it was because I'm a big Kobe fan. So for me, it was just like, it wasn't even that I hated LeBron. It was tough that it was just like,
to admit LeBron,
but it was the thing is, it was 2007, man. Like, LeBron was not better than Kobe in 2007.
It was his fourth year in the league.
Yeah, so like he still had time to develop. And I agree, LeBron's better than Kobe now, but he wasn't better in 2007. And people were like, LeBron's the best player ever touched the basketball. And kind of what to do with Curry.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? It's just like relax. Let's see what he does throughout the rest of his career. He's definitely, I'm talking about Curry. Has an amazing resume. He's gonna go down as one of the greats.
Most definitely.
But let's not be like, the best player to ever do anything.
Yeah. I had a person like that in my high school. He used to be all over Curry's. It was ridiculous. It was kind of annoying.
That was kind of all of my high school. That was all of my high school.
Curry. That's what like, come on now, man.
Come on.
Get it.
They was playing Aisha Curry role.
All right. So our fourth question that we have here. So we know how the bubble went, man. So my question to you guys is: did the fact that it was a bubble and like there wasn't any travel, and then Junior already gave his answer, but how do you feel, Jaylin? Like, do you think that this year has an asterisk on it? Do you think this year was easier, harder? How do you feel? Like, is this going to affect the GOAT debate, the fact that LeBron won this year?
I don't think it should affect the GOAT debate, and for me, for people that say that it does affect the GOAT debate, is like really confusing to me because it doesn't make sense. They played against the exact same competition that they would have played, if they were traveling and stuff. And they still had the exact same competition. But the only difference is that they were in an enclosed space. That's really it. If anything, it helped them because they develop more team chemistry. They develop, people's tendencies. They get to study each other more. So I feel like this is probably the hardest year to do the finals.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just me though.
So it does affect it. It just affects it, but makes it harder.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it harder. It doesn't make it easier. I don't understand the argument. It doesn't make it easier. Like all the stars were playing. James Harden was playing. Giannis Antetokounmpo was playing. Everybody was playing, and I don't understand.
I think I agree with you. It does affect it, but it makes it actually harder. Yeah. I think I have a take. So I don't think the Heat would have made the championship. I would have made the finals if they were playing in an arena. And
Right.
I think performance anxiety plays into this. I think Tyler Hero at 20 years old would have felt that pressure of the whole Staples Center yelling at him, but instead he's playing in an open gym. He's playing basically in an open gym. Basically, it's open gym. I understand it's against the same competition, but I think that the performance anxiety would have got to a lot of these players. And the Heat had like Duncan Robinson and all these rookies who played great in the NBA Finals. Can you imagine the NBA Finals in the Staples Center?
Oh my god!
The Staples Center would have been rocking and yelling.
LeBron James playing.
Come on, the Staples Center would have been rocking. Tyler Hero is a 20-year-old. He's not ready for that.
He would have folded.
He would have folded. He would have folded. But instead, he's playing in an empty gym where just his team cheering him on and everything. So I agree with you. I think that this bubble actually made things harder for everybody. So I think that this championship actually means more, and there's absolutely no asterisk on this championship.
It kind of puts everybody on like an equal playing field because they don't have to, like some people have the experience with like playing against the crowd and stuff. Some people don't, and it just kind of even it out.
That's what I was touching on when I said that the Lakers lost the home court advantage that they earned.
That would have been the difference.
A lot of games, the ones that Duncan Robinson played well in, and Tyler Hero, players that never went to the finals. You know what I mean? So no, I agree. I think that it does. This does affect the GOAT debate, and the bubble makes it harder, right? So it's. I mean, it's like you saw LeBron. He was chasing his fourth ring, 3 different teams, or 3 different. Yeah, it was the third team that he won a championship with. And he was able to get it done, different circumstances, like I said, everyone's separated from the family, but it's just like you lose that. It's tougher, it's mentally tougher. Players talked about how mentally tough it was to play in that bubble too. Yeah. You saw Paul George talked about it. He was dealing with, with some difficulties in the bubble. Danny Green said he was dealing with some difficulties in the bubble. So it's definitely, it's the toughest championship of all time.
It's more mentally than physically than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Because they didn't have to travel. Yeah. That's a small caveat in a bucket of more difficult. Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our next question. So this one right here has to do with just the overall GOAT conversation. So I want you guys to answer this. Fact or fiction? Is there a current NBA player right now under the age of 30 years old that has a chance to enter the GOAT debate?
I think that there's 2, and I forgot how old KD is. How old is KD?
He's more than 30.
He's 31.
Okay, well, never mind. So there's 2 players, Giannis and Luka.
My boy,
my God,
I love Luka. Luka is that guy.
My boy, AD getting no love.
How old is that? How old?
26. He's 26.
No, he's like 27. No,
he's young.
Pause.
He's young.
Let's see AD's age.
He's young.
AD, I think he's 28 actually.
I don't know if he's I mean, like,
oh my
Giannis has 2 MVPs already.
Yeah, no, Giannis is better, but
and Luka's only 21.
Jesus, I can't seem to get an age for this guy. 27.
27. Okay, I would give it to. Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's hard.
If he gets 1 MVP before he's 30, then I would consider it. But at the moment, nah.
That's hard. I don't know.
Luka hasn't gotten one.
But Luka is 21, dog. Luka's 21, putting up 42-point triple doubles.
Yeah, first team. Well, he was first team, right?
He was first team. He led the entire NBA in the triple doubles. He beat LeBron in triple doubles.
Yeah.
Luka is 21, dog. That's crazy to me.
His cap is up here. He isn't stopping.
Luka's nuts. No, Luka's one of my favorite players.
He's nuts. Most definitely.
He's nuts. But I think I agree. There's
Luka and Giannis.
Luka. No, I got AD in there.
AD as well.
I got to throw him in. He's definitely like last of the one. Kawhi is 29, by the way.
Kawhi. I don't know if I put Kawhi in there. I don't know if I could put him in there.
I don't know either.
So let me throw something, because in the last question I kind of forgot to touch on this, but how the NBA bubble affects the GOAT format. So one thing that I actually wanted to say about Kawhi is
Cool.
I'm gonna correct you every time. No, so Giannis too. I mean, Giannis is the best team regular season wise.
Regular season
completely choked it. They had like 5 games. Like he lost 5.
He's gonna get traded.
Traded? You think he'll get traded?
I don't know. Would he want to get traded?
I think he wants to. I think he might want to sign somewhere else.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's gonna stay.
If he wants a chip,
where would he go though?
I mean, a lot of Warriors.
If he went to,
actually, I want to talk about that.
A lot of Warriors.
I've never heard a credible source of Giannis going to the Warriors, except for Warriors fans. Like, there's not a single leak of evidence that says that, that everything points towards the Warriors. Like, I haven't seen that anywhere.
Like, I wouldn't have that thought because, like when they were saying KD was going to go to the Warriors, I was like, that's not going to happen.
Me too.
But then it happened.
Me too.
So, like, no telling with this league. And, like, Kawhi and Paul George.
I don't think Giannis is as soft as KD.
KD is one of the softest players of all time.
He's hella good at basketball. I'm not hating on him.
He's kind of sensitive.
Extremely sensitive. Makes fake Twitter pages. Come on now.
But anyway, so Giannis choked. And Kawhi choked so much.
Yeah.
So much. I mean, he lost blew a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. I mean, they're a good team, but
you would still
the
put them as
Clippers
a potential goal.
on paper, they're a much better team.
Yeah.
The Clippers are a better team than the Nuggets, like on paper.
On paper, they might have been one of the most talented teams in the league.
Yeah,
so they're super stacked.
Yeah.
But what we've been telling people, there's no way this Clippers team is going to beat the Lakers.
No chance.
And we saw it. We saw it because the team that beat the Clippers, the Lakers handled in five.
In five.
But the thing is, like, Kawhi had 4 months to rest. He's a player that relies on rest. He needs to rest.
Yeah,
he plays like 20 games a season.
Yeah.
He needs to rest. He had 4 months to rest. He relies on rest more than any other player. He was given all the time in the world before the bubble, and he completely choked. So that's tough. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's a fraud, but it's tough because everything lined up for him. He had his team. I mean, from the beginning, they pulled strings to trade Paul George and did everything. He got his rest. He got everything. He's in an arena with no pressure. Boom! It's all there for him, right?
Yeah.
And he finally choked.
Choked.
So, and Paul George too. He needed rest, right? He had off-season shoulder surgery. He needed rest. The Clippers had everything, and they screwed it up, which just shows how bad of a team they are. Really,
is it about the coaching, or what's it about the coaching, or just like the players?
I think it's a mix. But I think it's the fact that Kawhi gets all of these special privileges, and the players. The Clippers were a good team last year. They went to the playoffs last year. They were dogs last year. They were dogs. They were like the Memphis team that was that grit and grind era. They were dogs. They were clawing their way to the top. Then Kawhi comes in, gets all the superstar treatment, and the players are like, "What the hell, man? We grinded for all this. We grinded," and then Kawhi gets to, he gets to live in San Diego, show up late to practices, show up late to games, get his whole family flying on the team, playing like all this stuff. So that hurts. I don't think Kawhi is a leader.
Yeah,
like I think because I
does he deserve all of this recognition that he's getting?
He's a great player. He's not a leader, so he deserves the recognition. But now he deserves to take He deserves to take the downfall for the Clippers too, because he didn't carry them.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, LeBron. I'm sure he gets treated differently than Alex Caruso does.
Oh yeah.
But LeBron's a leader, right? So he unifies the team. I think Kawhi is just like, yeah, I guess I don't really care. I'll get it done. We'll get it done. Excuse me, we'll get it done. Go team. You know what I mean? He doesn't care that much. So if you're gonna get all this special treatment, you got to be a leader. You got to find a way to unify the team. You know, and I don't think you could do that. So because of that, going back to it, Kawhi. The question was the player under 30 to be able to be GOAT. Kawhi is 29. Can he be the GOAT? I don't know.
I don't think
so.
Like a lot of point chips stacked on him.
Yeah.
And he totally screwed it.
Fumbled the bag.
And you look at Luka, they got bounced in the second, but like I said, he carried that. First of all, he dragged that Mavericks team to a 7th seed.
If they had Porzingis,
then
that might be a different series.
And that first game, they lost that first game. They were winning. Porzingis gets that garbage ejection.
Oh yeah.
And so they could have gone up 2-0.
Yeah.
Early on, that's a completely different series.
Yeah.
So Luka got it done despite getting bounced. Kawhi had because Luka had everything against him. Kawhi had everything going for him and lost. So I never, ever, ever, ever want to hear somebody say the Clippers would have beat the Lakers.
Never.
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 Saw the team that the Clippers lost 3 straight to. Lakers handled in 5. Never come with that BS argument again. So anyway, Giannis, AD, Luka, Giannis, AD. That order. I put Luka in front.
You think
Luka's
so?
younger.
Yeah.
Luka's younger.
Luka's ceiling is bigger than Giannis is out there.
Yeah.
Because Giannis has already choked twice. If Giannis is going to continue being a great regular season player and screw in the playoffs, then that's why I look up there.
Yeah, he's a playoff player. He's a regular season player for sure. He had Defensive Player of the Year and MVP this year.
Yeah, but AD was robbed of Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
AD and LeBron.
Giannis played with the best defense. The Bucks were the number one defense. He had other great defenders around him.
Yeah, Eric Bledsoe,
right? AD was, we had good defenders, but nothing like AD. And so Giannis had a better supporting cast on defense, and AD still had better numbers. It's 100% anti-Lakers bias in the media. It's a media award.
But like, think about it. Like, overall, who is the better team, the Bucks or the Lakers?
I think the Lakers is a better playoff team. I think the Bucks might be a better regular season team because you see the Bucks, they're great when you don't have no time to game plan against them. But when you have 7 games to game plan against them, watch film, it's over. Like we see it. It's happened 2 years straight now.
Clog the lane.
Exactly. That's all you gotta do.
No, really.
But in a regular season, you don't have time. You're just gonna game plan for this team, game plan for that team. But when you have 7 games to sit there and game plan, watch film, that's the same way I feel about the Denver Nuggets. I don't think the Denver Nuggets will ever be a serious title contender. I think that when you have 7 games to game plan against them, they can figure them out, but not in the regular season.
So what do you think? Do you guys think that Luka had a better playoffs or Giannis had a better playoffs?
Luka did more.
That's why I put him over there. That's why I put him above Giannis in the cap
because of his ability to finish through a season.
He's 5 years younger, 5 or 6 years younger, and he had a better playoffs, being much younger on a worse team, right?
He also had a better regular season.
No. Regular season?
The Bucks were first.
No, I'm talking about like individually.
Individually. Okay.
He had the numbers to
individually, because he did lead the entire league in triple doubles.
No, and he was up there in the MVP race. So I think Luka is number 1, Giannis number 2, AD number 3 in that sub 30 category. You know, like I said, I think Kawhi kind of really choked his chances here. I think he could get a ring if he leaves the Clippers. I don't think the Clippers are just gonna win anything. It's tough. Like, I mean, we'll see how good Ty Lue is, but Ty Lue just it was really LeBron. LeBron's puppet when he was in Cleveland. So if he leaves the Clippers and gets another ring, that'll help his case. But this was a bad one for Kawhi.
Bad showcase.
Giannis, back-to-back MVP. He's only LeBron and Kareem have gotten 2 MVPs under 25. So. And he's got, insane athleticism. He kind of do it all. Some games he shoots threes, and you're just like, how are we going to stop this man? It doesn't happen all the time, though. But like we said, needs to improve in the playoffs. I think I think he's going to stay. But if he were to move away from the Bucks, there's already a great blueprint for a big man who was on the Bucks and left them, and now he's one of the GOATs, and it's Kareem. So Giannis. If you follow that blueprint and go to the Lakers, you go to the Lakers, you and AD can do some damage.
I think Giannis is gonna go to the Heat. To be honest with you, I think he's gonna go to the Heat. I think he's just gonna because if you look at all these great players, what they're doing is like what team is great and what team can I just get over the hump. Like the Warriors were great. KD took them over the hump and made them absolutely insane. I think that Giannis saw that the Heat made the championship and you're like, oh my God, what can I add to that team? But I think that if the Heat did that, they would have to give up a lot of players. A lot of their young core.
Like, would they keep Jimmy Butler?
I think they would keep Jimmy Butler. I think that they would give up like the Duncan Robinson. I think they'd have to give up Tyler Hero if they want Giannis to come. That's his guy. He loves Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stay.
And I can see them playing together pretty well too. Jimmy Butler and Giannis, because they're both not selfish.
Yeah, as long as you work hard.
Yeah,
so you gotta work hard. I had to take that back. Not anybody, because Carl Anthony Towns could drop a comment. Not really. No.
But they keep Bam. They would have to keep Bam, huh?
Hey, they need to keep Bam. They gotta keep Bam.
That'd
be a big 3.
How can they afford?
Yeah, exactly. Because Jimmy Butler should be maxed out, and
he is he not? Bam is about to be.
Bam's about to be.
You think Bam's being maxed?
You think so?
I think so. I saw a report today that they're not even listening to a single trade offer for Bam Adebayo.
Oh, wow.
So I think he's going to get maxed out. Does he deserve it? I don't know, but I think he will. Nowadays, in this era, you need to max out your players if you want to keep them. But the thing is, I think, I could be wrong, but I think Lakers can go over the cap to sign Anthony Davis because they were able to trade for him when he was in New Orleans, so they retained that contract. So if they have the cap, and Pelinka's a genius. Pelinka, oh my gosh, bro! If you're listening, man, I'm so sorry. I thought he was bad, but turns out it was just Magic holding him back. I actually made a joke when Magic quit. I was like, "What if Pelinka's just this genius GM, And Magic is just holding him back. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like, Pelinka is just making moves after moves after moves. I mean, look, the Lakers thought they were going to get Kawhi. They got left out to dry for pretty much at the last minute. He scraped together a team with what was left in the free agent market. That was enough to win him a title.
Yeah.
Right? Now the Lakers applied for this injured player exception on Luol Deng, which would free up $5 million of cap. So I forgot about Luol Deng. Right? So he's making moves. Well, we're still paying him because of that awful contract by Mitch Kupchak, whose name shall not be mentioned. But, so which means that he's a savvy guy. And here's another thing that people need to think about. Kobe was a guy who is actually, if you think about the most dedicated player of all time, I think Kobe.
Most definitely.
I think of Kobe, right? He was a guy who was so dedicated to his craft, and he trusted, Rob Pelinka was his agent, he trusted Rob Pelinka with his career.
Yeah.
Right? How good at your job do you have to be for Kobe Bryant to trust you with his career?
Yeah.
That he puts his blood, sweat, and tears into. He trusted Rob Pelinka with his career. That's got to count for something.
It has
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's getting it done. He's getting it done with the Lakers. So I wouldn't put it past Rob Pelinka to find a way to sign AD, to keep LeBron, sign AD, and sign another star. Will it be honest? I genuinely don't think he's coming to the Lakers. I'd love for that. I don't think he's coming to the Lakers. But that we can get another star, I don't doubt it. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking about a star. I'm talking about someone on that Bradley Beal level, that Devin Booker level. I think we can get somebody on that.
Like a good shooting guard.
Yeah, not necessarily those players, but I think somebody on that level.
Okay. All right.
For sure.
Jaylin, Jenner, man, what do y'all do? Do you guys have anything to say for this GOAT debate, or have you said everything?
LeBron's the GOAT.
LeBron's the GOAT. That's all I gotta say.
I'm changed, man.
changed.
I'm curious. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with the young players in the league too. You know, like I know Luka is just different. You know, but how are we gonna look on Trae Young in a couple of years? You know, Trae Young, John Moran, Zion,
Ben Simmons, even.
You think John hates Ben Simmons?
I hate Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons
I think he's trash.
Ben Simmons is trash. He needs to get traded.
I think he needs to get traded out of the 76ers.
So how are we gonna look at those players? You know, the Zion hype train was as big as
anybody since the runs.
Yeah.
Or arguably AD. AD had a pretty big hype train going into the league too. But I'd say he was up there on that LeBron AD hype train when he's coming to the league. What's gonna happen? You know, is he gonna be able to stay healthy? Because if he can, man, look at that. And we're talking about Aaron Donald, right?
Yeah.
It's a big dude that can move, right? That's what Zion is. You know what I mean? So imagine if Zion can stay healthy, man. Next year we could be sitting here talking about Zion, Luka, and Giannis.
We'll see, man.
We gotta see.
We'll see.
Gotta see, man.
There's a lot. It's like I said, it's a real skillful time in the league. Probably the best time for the league.
Exactly. But there you have it, though, man. That is our GOAT debate. As we've seen, we all got three similar, like-minded LeBron supporters, man. We know who the GOAT is. But Jaylin, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We gonna keep coming. Have Jaylin coming on the show. Jenner, appreciate you having on the show. Jenner's gonna keep coming on the show as always, man. We love the fans. We appreciate that, man. I'm gonna go drop the Instagram. Drop Jaylin's Instagram right here. The Clutch Talk Instagram. Drop Jenner's Instagram right here, man. Y'all go follow in. Y'all go subscribe. Drop a comment below. Let us know who your GOAT is. And that's it, man. We appreciate the love. We appreciate all the support. And that's it, man. We out here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.